Hey guys, and welcome to the 11th episode of the 12 Days of Switchmas, where I will be talking about my second favorite game of 2025, and one of my favorite online multiplayer games of all time, and I guess multiplayer in general, Kirby Air Riders. This is really my go-to online multiplayer game for the Switch 2, even more so than Mario Kart World. I feel like this kind of overtook that game. Now don't get me wrong, Mario Kart World is very fun, especially with friends, but there's something about Kirby Air Riders that really clicked with me. And it's just even more addicting and fun to come back to, especially with all of the modes that this game offers, like City Trial, and the satisfaction from unlocking everything in this game is just so fun and satisfying, and I am really getting a lot out of this game, and I feel like I'm probably going to be playing this game for many hours. I already have 50 hours put into it, but I feel like by the end of the Switch 2 era, I might have over 200 or 300 hours in this. It is just incredible overall, and I'm not surprised that it's this good, because Masahiro Sakurai worked on it. And it's kind of surreal to see him working on a Kirby game again, because it's been over 20 years since he worked on a Kirby game and left HAL. So I definitely think this is a very special game, and definitely a great game for the first year of the Switch 2. But this game is very unique, since it controls very differently from other racing games. The controls of this game are very simple, but there's a surprising amount of depth and nuance to this game. Rather than holding down a button to accelerate like most racing games, you move automatically, and you hold down a button to slow down and build up a boost. It's very unique, and I feel like it's not too hard to learn for newer players. And there's also 3 completely different gameplay modes in this game: Air Ride, Top Ride, and City Trial. Air Ride is basically the basic racing mode, but it's still anything but basic. It's still very fun and satisfying to play. The original version in the GameCube game was kind of flawed, but in Air Riders, I think Air Ride is great. They definitely improved a lot of aspects of racing, especially with the new characters that you could play as. They all have different abilities and special moves, making things a little more unique. And I feel like they also improved a lot of the Air Ride machines as well, and the new tracks are a lot better than the ones in the original. There's a lot of depth to them, and a lot of different techniques that you can learn. And the older tracks, I would say they still aren't good, and it's great that they're offered here in the game, but I feel like they still are kind of flawed. The air ride machines in this game are very interesting. Unlike karts and kart racers, each air ride machine controls very differently, and they kind of suit different playstyles. If you want a lot of attack power and you want to be good in combat, you can use the Shadow Star or the Battle Chariot. If you want a machine with good turns, you could use the Chariot. Or if you want one that has good gliding capabilities, you could use the Flight Star, and if you want one that's very fast, you can use the Turbo Star, and there's also a few other options for that as well. And each of them also has a weakness to it as well, so you kind of have to play with that weakness in mind. It's a very fun and satisfying system, and you kind of stick to like a few different air ride machines that you get used to. I usually play with the Chariot or Shadow Star, and sometimes the Battle Chariot. I really like the Chariot type machines. Those are definitely a fun addition to the game. But there are also others that I kind of dabble around with sometimes, and it's just kind of fun to try out new ones as well. And going into another mode, Top Ride is not quite as good as the other modes, but it's still a nice little side thing here, kind of like it was in the original game, though it was definitely improved. Like, I like how the camera is handled here. It feels like you could definitely see things a lot better. It kind of seemed a bit too kind of zoomed in the original. So I kind of like how there's like more of a zoomed out view. And the items are pretty fun as well, and also the new Top Ride tracks are definitely much better designed, and they're also designed with more players in mind. So I feel like Top Ride definitely got a nice improvement here. Not a complete overhaul, but it is a nice little fun side mode. I would have been fine without it, but I definitely respect that it's here. I respect that Sakurai was like, we didn't need to add this, but we just did it anyway, just because we can. And that's what I really respect about Sakurai. He really goes out of his way, even for the smaller details. And before I talk about the final main mode, I wanted to talk about the story mode, which is called Road Trip, and I really like how it was handled here. It's almost like a roguelike mode, since you get different upgrades in each area and you kind of start over each time doing different runs, and there's also a secret true ending. It basically mashes up the three main modes together and almost kind of acts as a tutorial as such, but also a challenge since it has like an extra hard mode if you play through it. So I definitely appreciate this mode. There's a lot to offer here, and the story is also really good. It definitely has that darker aspect that a lot of Kirby games have, and it is just handled really well. And it definitely resonated with me quite a lot. But finally, I'm gonna talk about City Trial. This is the mode that I definitely spent the most hours in, and I am basically addicted to. City Trial is genius as a concept. Basically, you're plopped into a city. In this game, it's called Skya, and you have 5 minutes to collect as many upgrades as you can, along with an air ride machine. And everything is completely randomized. The events, the items, even the Skya map slightly changes. Like sometimes it has secret islands, or it has some variations, or some of the terrain changes. It feels like everything feels different every time you play. I feel like it really has an infinite amount of possibilities here. That's why it has so much replayability, and I've been putting so many hours into it. Like, it feels different each time you play. Like, even though it only has one map, like, that one map has a lot packed into it. I feel like it has hundreds of hours packed into this one map, and it's just kind of insane overall. It is a very crazy and chaotic mode. Like, so many things can happen. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like there are different levels of chaos that each City Trial run can have. Like, sometimes it can be the most chaotic thing you have ever seen in a video game, with some of the events and things that can happen, or some of the upgrades that people get that make them extremely overpowered, or if Rick is playing. Or it can just be a kind of a peaceful little romp getting collectibles and not too much happens. It's really unpredictable, and it's just really satisfying overall. And after you get all the upgrades that you can within those 5 minutes, you play in a stadium event. Usually you select the one that is you're kind of best equipped for, and each of them are really fun. I mean, some are better than others. Like, I really like the boss fights and the individual races as well, or also some of the combat-related events where you kind of face off against other players or take out a bunch of enemies. Even the target flight ones are fun if you have, like, a machine that is equipped for it. It just has a lot of variety, and they are just really fun overall. There are also other things in this game as well. It has a fun little extra mode called Gummies, which basically represent all of the air ride machines that you have defeated or beat in a race, and you just have this massive collection of these little gummies that you could play around with. They really didn't need to add this mode, but it's really nice that they did. It's kind of like DK Artist and Bonanza. And then there's My Machine, which is one of the coolest additions to this game. And you could basically make your own custom air ride machine and share it online. There are so many possibilities, and it is very flexible with what you can create. You could basically create anything. I've even been doing a series on this channel where I showcase some of these machines. It is just absolutely incredible. But anyways, Kirby Air Riders is definitely a highlight of the first year of the Switch 2, and I definitely feel like I'm gonna put a lot of hours into this game, on top of the hours that I've already put into it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!